Good morning, boys and girls. This is your children's message for Sunday, July 19th. And today, guys, I want you to think back to last week and remember how I talked all about gardens and the big garden that I have at my house. Well, I've got a problem in my garden this week. I've got weeds everywhere. And I mean literally everywhere. There are so many weeds in my garden. It's getting to be a really big problem. And if you guys don't know, weeds in a garden can be a really bad thing because they can be harmful. They can hurt your good plants. My blueberry bushes can't grow as well as they need to grow if there's weeds all over the place. So I want to get rid of them. But if I go and just start pulling them, well, that's a lot of work. And if I pull too hard, I may accidentally pull some of the blueberry bush up with it. Or if I take like a shovel or something and try to dig out the weeds, well, I may hurt the blueberry plants that way too. Or if I go and get a weed killer, unfortunately, some of the weed killers don't know the difference between a weed and a blueberry plant, and so it may kill some of the blueberry plants too. I'm kind of stuck with what to do with these weeds. Jesus tells us a story in our gospel reading for today from the Gospel of Matthew, a parable, a story that he tells about weeds, the parable of the weeds, and how in his church sometimes there are just people that are like weeds. They're just there to cause trouble. They don't really believe in the Bible or Jesus or any of this stuff. They're just here to make trouble and hurt other people. And so our temptation may be like in a real garden to go and start pulling those people out of the church and getting them out of here so they don't hurt the good believers. But if you start doing that, Jesus warns you that you could accidentally, in pulling up some of these fake weeds, fake believers, you could accidentally hurt real people who believe in Jesus, and it causes more harm than it would cause good. So instead of doing that, Jesus urges us to leave judgment to him on the last day. Our focus is not on deciding who does and who does not get to be in church, who is a weed and who is not a weed. That's not what our focus should be. Our focus is on bearing fruit and doing good things and believing in Jesus and fulfilling the mission that he gives us to do. And at the end of time, when Jesus comes back once and for all, he will figure out who is a weed and who is not a weed. That's not your job. And that's the lesson of the parable of the weeds for today. So can we pray to God and help him, ask him to help remind us to not worry about the weeds? Okay, I'll pray for all of us. Dear God, we thank you for your church, this group of people that you have gathered together on this earth to worship you and your Son. Help us, Lord, not to worry about the weeds in our midst, but by your Spirit, help us to bear fruit, so that at the end of time we would leave all judgment about the weeds to you. We pray all these things in the name and for the sake of your Son, Jesus. Amen. Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your morning. I hope to see you again in church very soon. Bye.